Hey, I'm Voxy and welcome to my Diablo Sorcerer build video. Are you getting annoyed with looking through YouTube at all the different builds and they expect you to be around a level 100 with a bunch of mega rare drops? Yeah, same. So I've made this video for the average player like myself who just wants to do some damage but not end up with no mana for 90% of the fight. I'd just like to start by saying I'm not an expert at Diablo. This is the first time playing the franchise, but I'm absolutely loving it so far. I'm surprised at how much I do love it because I thought the camera was a bit weird when I saw like reviews of it and gameplay. But no, I really enjoy it, so I'm trying my best to show you things that I've came up with myself that works for me. And hopefully it'll help other people. But yeah, don't be mean if I've missed stuff out or if there's anything extra to add to the build. Just let me know in the comments below. I will happily update the best I can. But again, I'm still new to the game. I'm just showing you what works for me and hopefully it helps others. Okay, so I'm going to show you the skills that I have. I picked Frost Nova for my first skill, because obviously that freezes everybody. I've got my ice armor for the second, teleport for the third, which is useful to get in and out, deep freeze, this is the ultimate I picked, ice shards, which is obviously the main part of the build, and flame shield, also good defense. So now I'm going to show you the skill tree. Just going to zoom out and go to the top and explain why I've picked what I have. So we've got Firebolt. I've picked this one for the enchantment skill, which I'll show you when we go onto that page. But you also need to pick two so you can go on to the next part. This is a item contribution, so completely ignore this. This kind of annoys me when watching builds as well. For somebody that doesn't really know a lot about this, people don't really point out to say that this is an item contribution, so when I'm looking at this I have stupidly put points in before. So I just want to point that out. That is not something I've picked. It is something that an item has contributed to. The main part of this whole entire build is ice shards, so because of that you want to max this to 5. I've picked the enhanced ice shard for the 40% chance to ricochet to another enemy, and the destructive ice shards. Basically these are just extra damage. I feel like that was more useful than the barrier. I picked devastation. Your maximum mana is increased by 9, so I've maxed it out to 3 because the whole point of this is we want as much mana as possible. Elemental dominance, your core skills deal 9% increased damage when cast above 50 mana, so again super useful. I've picked obviously flame shield, like I said, for my skills because obviously it's a defensive skill. This is really useful because you gain 25% movement speed when you activate it. You also gain 25% mana cost reduction whilst flame shield is active. So these are the modifiers. I think it's from, yeah, so we got movement speed from this one and the 25% mana cost from this one. So again, this to me is more beneficial because of the mana. Teleport, for obvious reasons, just to get out, you know, why not. We've got glass cannon. You deal 18% damage increase but take 9% more damage. Again, you just more damage, kills the enemies quicker, you know, gets rid of them, so then you don't have to worry about taking damage. Lucky hit is super useful on this build for Sorcerer. We have ice armor, again defensive. This also with the modifier is while ice armor is active, your mana regeneration is increased by 25%, so you've got both of these. So when this one's down, use this one, so you've got a defensive skill which is going to take less damage and your mana reduction is at 25% for both. So again, when one's down, use the other one. Frost Nova, I feel this is super important for this build because obviously freezing enemies, you do more damage with other stuff too. Killing enemies frozen by Frost Nova reduces the cooldown by 1 second, so that's really useful. And it generates 4 mana per enemy hit, so again, super useful for the mana side. We're over at Conjuration. This is item contribution, ice blades, so it's just relevant really. Also contribution there, and the Hydra, yeah, so ignore that. Precision magic, again, lucky hit, super important for this build. We have the Align the Elements. You gain 3% damage reduction against elites. We fight many of those, so It's always good to have. Protection, using a cooldown grants 10% maximum life. I will probably put more in this. I've only used 54 points. I do not have the entire points that I could get for my sorcerer, so bear that in mind. So you might have more points than me. I personally would probably put them in here and another space down below, which I'll show you in a moment. But again, for somebody that's like not spent loads of hours playing this game, we're not quite, you know, there getting absolutely everything. And for myself, this level 61, I don't have the extra 4 points yet, so when I do get 4 points, 1 or 2 will probably be in here anyway. I didn't pick anything for the mastery, probably should have, but I couldn't really think of anything that I felt was going to be useful. Blizzard maybe, Icybell possibly, but I kind of just wanted to focus on the mana side. So again, down here we've got Permafrost. Frost skills deal 15% increased damage to elites. That's really good. I only put 2 into these because I was trying to make sure I'd got enough points elsewhere. So again, 2 more points will be added into there. You deal 8% increased cold damage. You know, cold damage is really important for this build. Chilled enemies, you know, the frozen, the damage. Look at the chilled damage, the frozen damage. That's really good. And I put 3 in this one because again, with the lucky hit. And also you have 20% chance to generate 15 mana, so also benefit in the mana side. I picked Deep Freeze for the ultimate because what I liked about this is the fact that you become immune for 4 seconds. It can be a bit frustrating if you're in a team and like everybody's trying to join in and kill the mob or the boss or whatever. But if you're in a tricky situation and you feel like you're gonna die, you can use this and it will make you invulnerable, and you can also top up your potions whilst in that, so that's always a good way to stay alive. So what I liked also about this is but this is from the modifier side, when Deep Freeze ends, you gain 10% of your base life as a barrier for 6 seconds for each enemy you froze while it was active. When Deep Freeze ends, your non-ultimate cooldowns are reduced by 50%, so your defensive skills that are helping regenerate a mana or to cut the costs, you could use these literally a lot faster, and obviously that's super useful. And then lastly, we have Shatter. After freeze expires, enemies explode for 25% of the damage you dealt to them whilst frozen. So again, super useful. I'm not going to talk too much about the Paragon side because I've kind of gone with what I felt like was useful, like resistance to elements and stuff. I try to pick as much the intelligence as I could, but I picked the board. I can't remember the name of the board now, so I will add it over the top somewhere so I can tell you exactly which one it is because I can't see the name right now. But the rare node over here, you get +8 maximum mana, again super helpful. We got more mana here and more mana there, so again these all add up. I'm still building this up. I'm hopefully going towards this, I believe. And yeah, so that's the Paragon board and that's the skill tree. So we come out of this, and if I show you this, I've picked Ice Shards enchantment because obviously it helps for the frozen enemies. Ice Shards have a 40% chance to ricochet to another enemy. Hitting an enemy with 5 Ice Shards in a single cast makes them vulnerable for 2 seconds. So again, super helpful. Firebolt enchantment, the reason why we picked this is because it gives you a burn. Direct damage from skills applies up to an additional 963 burning damage. So if you can see, most of my skills are ice, so that little bit of a burn does help to, you know, kill the enemies and stuff. So just going to quickly talk about gear. I have upgraded majority of my stuff, but that's just to maximize what I've got. I feel like you already know about upgrading your armor and stuff like that, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. I do have a few more bits I could upgrade, but for now I've just gone with these. I've put the emeralds into my weapon, rubies into my armor, and skulls into my jewelry. I literally can't recommend anything specifically. This is just stuff that I've been lucky enough to find. Some stuff has mana, that one there, +10 maximum mana, so that helps. But if you look, most of my stuff has like damage to frozen enemies, or the extra ability thing on the unique of the legendary will be like doing chill damage, damaging elites, casting ice armor makes you unstoppable, that's useful. Frost Nova gains an additional charge, so more damage the better. I've added a bit of gameplay for you here to check out the build. As long as you're keeping on top of the mana and using skills when they're off cooldown, I feel like this is a more sustainable build to use at this level of the game, in my opinion. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below, but please give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Take care guys, bye!